Mexican drug cartel apparently stockpiling an armory on the Texas border. Will President Trump have to go to war with Kosovo? And Obama's parting gift to the Palestinians. It's SkyWatch TV for Monday, January 24th, 2017. I'm Derek Gilbert. First up, just 2 days in office and already signs of Donald Trump's military cooperation with Vladimir Putin. Debka File reports there's been a joint Russian-American airstrike on ISIS positions near the besieged Syrian city of Deir ez-Zor. 6 Russian long-range bombers launched airstrikes on ISIS arms and ammunition depots. The Islamic group surrounded the military airfield at Deir ez-Zor last week, which remains the last line of defense of the Syrian army to keep ISIS out of the city, where about 100,000 civilians are currently trapped. Now, there's been no official confirmation from the U.S. military on cooperation with Russia. They reportedly are people inside the Pentagon not happy about the idea of sharing intelligence with Moscow. Russian helicopters last week brought hundreds of Syrian troops to relieve the soldiers inside the city of Deir ez-Zor. Also brought fighters from Hezbollah's elite Radwan force to help the Syrian government hold the line against the ISIS troops. Again, about 100,000 civilians trapped in that city, and losing Deir ez-Zor, which is a key point on the Euphrates River, would be a major victory for ISIS and help the group shore up its positions in Palmyra, Raqqa, and even in Mosul, Iraq. Meanwhile, China has moved ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, to the Russian border over the last 2 days. Russian and Chinese media reporting that China's top-line Dongfeng 41 missiles have been deployed to a northeastern province, probably or presumably in response to provocative talk by President Trump. The DF-41 is a solid fuel intercontinental missile, carries a payload of 10 to 12 nuclear warheads, can target anywhere in the world. It's considered one of the most advanced intercontinental ballistic missiles in the world. Well, another lovely parting gift to his friends on his way out of the White House. Former President Obama released $221 million to the Palestinian Authority on his last day in office. Congress had been blocking the release of those funds. John Kerry informed a few lawmakers of this decision shortly before leaving the State Department for the last time Thursday. We still don't have definite word on where the U.S. Embassy to Israel will be located, but the new U.S. Ambassador to Israel will be living in Jerusalem. David Friedman has announced he won't live in the official ambassador's residence near Tel Aviv. Instead, he'll live in the apartment that he owns in the Talbaya section of Jerusalem. Friedman has yet to be confirmed by the U.S. Senate. Could the United States be dragged back into war in Serbia? Last week, a Serbian train was turned back at the Kosovan border. Now, this is part of a new train that was establishing a new service linking the Serbian capital of Belgrade to the town of Mitrovica in Kosovo. Now, a little bit of history for you. NATO waged a 3-month air war against Serbia in 1999, ostensibly to prevent a bloody Serbian crackdown on ethnic Albanian separatists in the province of Kosovo. This was a sequel to the 1992 to 1995 war between Christian Serbia and Croatia on one side and Muslim Bosnia on the other. It ended when the U.S. pressured Serbia into giving up big chunks of Bosnia to Muslim rule. Now, there's more to the story here, but we don't have time to unpack it all in this broadcast. Just be skeptical of official reports of the official history of what happened there. Kosovo declared independence from Serbia in 2008. It's recognized as an independent nation by most of the West. Russia, which has a close relationship with Serbia, does not recognize an independent Kosovo. Kosovo, mainly Muslim. This new train that was supposed to roll into Kosovo on Friday was completely covered with provocative images on the outside. The paint of the train decorated with the slogan, "Kosovo is Serbian," in 21 different languages. And on the inside, images of Orthodox icons, iconography, religious icons. Remember, Kosovo is mainly Muslim. This incident has almost brought Kosovo and Serbia to the brink of war. There's tough talk on both sides. This would be a pretty one-sided conflict. Serbia has mustered about 60,000 soldiers and moved them to the border. Kosovo including reserves, has about 6,000 soldiers it can call on. The net result of American policy regarding Serbia and Southern Europe as a whole over the last 25 years has been one of essentially creating new Muslim enclaves on Europe's southern border and the reduction of areas under the control of Orthodox Christian nations. This is basically part of a proxy conflict using the Muslims of Albania and now Kosovo to reduce the influence of Orthodox Christian Russia on the edges of Europe. However, given the problems that Muslim immigration have caused for Western Europe over the last year and a half, if war should break out and Kosovo should call for help, it's not likely they'll get any from NATO this time around. Europe also has a real problem with hard narcotics being run into Europe by Albanian drug gangs from Kosovo. Coming up, women expecting prenatal care at Planned Parenthood, in spite of Planned Parenthood's public claims, pretty much out of luck. We'll tell you why next on SkyWatch TV.
Recently, SkyWatch TV held a No Fences Tell Your Story writing contest. After hundreds of writers submitted their inspirational stories, 10 SkyWatch TV judges worked together to narrow it down to 10 beautifully told accounts in the brand new anthology, Learning to Lean. Right now, when you purchase Learning to Lean from the SkyWatch TV store for only $19.95, you'll also receive absolutely free Living a Supernatural Life. Find out how to live in the reality of the supernatural realm, attuned in mind and heart to God's kingdom, coming in power through the Holy Spirit living in you. Plus, we want to help you tell your inspirational stories, so we're also including free a brand new, beautiful spiral-bound personal journal. Put to pen and organize your chapters, thoughts, and outlines, or use as the perfect Bible devotion companion for jotting down your favorite scripture verses. Altogether, this Learning to Lean anthology special offer holds a retail value of $55. Now for only $19.95 plus shipping and handling at SkyWatchTVstore.com. Be inspired as you learn to lean on God's miraculous grace at work in our lives today with the Learning to Lean anthology special offer.
A new undercover video reveals that Planned Parenthood, contrary to its public claims, doesn't actually provide prenatal care to pregnant women. Cecile Richards, president of Planned Parenthood, is on record stating that her business is essential to American women because of the prenatal care that it offers. But when you actually call a Planned Parenthood clinic, you get a different story.
We don't offer any prenatal care.
We don't offer prenatal care at Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood offers abortion, so they don't offer prenatal care.
Prenatal care. These are the kinds of services that folks depend on Planned Parenthood for.
And a president who will fight for prenatal care.
Prenatal care. And that is what we want to focus on. That is what is so vital.
Well, why should Planned Parenthood bother with prenatal care? Their whole business model is based on terminating unborn babies. For more on this investigation, you want to watch the whole video and read how it was conducted, go to liveaction.org. Having babies is so messy anyway. Why don't we just create them in labs? Seems to be the ultimate goal of researchers who are trying to fabricate synthetic DNA. In fact, researchers have created the first living organisms with an expanded genetic code, more than just the plain old GATC that the rest of us are born with. Common E. coli microbes, now living in a laboratory environment with added molecules that they call X and Y. What could possibly go wrong? Well, researchers say these bacteria are tailored to die, engineered to die without regular additions or infusions of these X and Y molecules. Why bother? Well, this synthetic life form is, or semi-synthetic actually, is proof of concept. A researcher specializing in synthetic biology, and just think about that for a minute. There are now academics, scholars specializing in synthetic biology at our universities, said that the real power of this approach is in making microbes that carry multiple artificial DNA bases or even a completely human-designed synthetic genome, and possibly a synthetically designed human at some point. Now, if you're like me and find yourself on the wrong side of Obamacare, President's executive order last Friday to lighten the load was, in the words of Judge Andrew Napolitano, truly revolutionary. This executive order reads, and I quote, "The Secretary of Health and Human Services and the heads of all other executive departments and agencies shall exercise all authority and discretion available to them to waive, defer, grant exemptions from, or delay the implementation of any provision or requirement of the Act that would impose a fiscal burden on any state or a cost, fee, tax, penalty, or regulatory burden on individuals," that's us, "families, healthcare providers, health insurers, patients, recipients of healthcare services, et cetera, et cetera." Napolitano said it's the first time he has seen a president say, "You will exercise your judgment against the government and in favor of the individual. That is truly revolutionary," end quote. The Department of Homeland Security, in need of some attention, the DHS Inspector General John Roth says that its brand new system that grants citizenship has, in his words, alarming security breaches. It allows immigrants to be approved without a full FBI background check. And so Monday, he asked the government to put it on hold. It was due to be rolled out later this month. Roth issued his extraordinary warning to prevent what he called a massive mistake. And that could be a deadly one, as a Mexican drug cartel is reportedly stockpiling an arsenal on the Texas border. This is according to Breitbart, Texas. Mexican police found a stockpile of weapons after a raid on a junkyard in the border town of Piedras Negras. This is just across the border from Eagle Pass, Texas. The cartel, known as Los Zetas, reportedly had 5 Soviet-era rocket-propelled grenade launchers, along with tactical vests, including bulletproof metal plates, assault rifles, a whole lot more. Breitbart reporting that Cartel del Noreste faction of Los Zetas, and please forgive my pronunciation, I know it's horrible, is fighting another faction within Los Zetas for control of drug trafficking routes in Coahuila State and other areas along the border. This war has led to almost daily kidnappings, gun battles, beheadings, dismemberments, and other gruesome forms of execution. The group known as Los Zetas was formed in 1979, or rather 1999, when commandos from the Mexican Army, who were trained in the School of the Americas, the U.S. Army School of the Americas at Fort Benning, Georgia, deserted the Mexican military, began working as the enforcement arm of the Gulf Cartel. And then in February of 2010, they decided to go independent. Los Zetas broke away from the Gulf Cartel and formed their own organization. The membership of Los Zetas currently includes corrupt federal, state, and local police officers, former U.S. Army personnel, and former members of the special forces of the Guatemalan military. Again, right across the border from Eagle Pass, Texas. Another day, another horror show on live social media. A woman in the Swedish town of Uppsala reportedly raped early Sunday morning by attackers who live streamed the event on Facebook. Police got a tip from a witness to the video around 9 a.m. Sunday local time. About 200 people watched the video at one point reportedly before police arrived on the scene. Most of the Western media reporting the story, not commenting on the nationality of the attackers. Local media in Sweden beginning to get fed up with the things that have taken place in that country over the last couple of years, not shy about sharing pictures of their attackers who, I think it's safe to say, are not native Swedes. And finally, a tornado Sunday hit and destroyed East Jerusalem. Not the one you're thinking of. It's a neighborhood in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, one of the towns hit by a wave of tornadoes that swept across the southern U.S. on Saturday morning. 14 tornado tracks reported in all. Now, some are likely to look at this tragedy and try to draw some prophetic implications from it. Let's not go there. There are people in need of help. Pray for the families of the victims and those who now have to rebuild their homes and their lives. If you want to help, a volunteer center has been set up at the East Jerusalem Baptist Church on South Tipton Street in Hattiesburg. There's a picture of the church there. You can also help by donating to Extra Table. That's an organization in Hattiesburg that stocks food pantries and soup kitchens in Mississippi's Pine Belt. You can take advantage of this report and all of our programs here on SkyWatch TV, the mobile version, that is, audio only. The SkyWatch TV podcast available online. You'll find a link on how to download the audio files to your smart device or MP3 player at skywatchtv.com. Look in the top menu bar on the website where it says podcast. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is SkyWatch TV.